It started on a sun-baked stretch of highway outside a little Carolina town you've probably never heard of. The kind of place with one diner, one gas station, and a courthouse that still smells like wood polish from the 1950s. But it was the place where my whole sense of America cracked and then rebuilt itself. I was in uniform that day, Major Marcus Devereaux, U.S. Army, 3 tours overseas back home visiting my mom. Nothing special, nothing to brag about, just driving. Blue lights hit my rear view mirror like a punch. I did what I was trained to do. Signal pull over, hands on the wheel. No sudden moves. When Officer Darren Cole stepped out of his cruiser, hand on his baton, the sun caught the badge and his smirk at the same time. "You think that uniform makes you special?" he hissed, leaning into my window. "Out here, I'm the law." He made me get out, slammed me on the hood so hard my cheeks stuck to the hot metal. I heard the crowd forming before I saw it, tires slowing, doors opening, phones coming up. One woman's voice cut through, "That's a soldier. Look at his patches." Cole yanked my wrist behind my back anyway. Resisting arrest, he barked to no one in particular. Failure to comply, driving while black. Inside, I went cold, not hot. That's something you learn in combat. You slow your heart down. You notice details. His badge number, the angle of the dash cam, the trembling in his left hand that said he wasn't as sure of himself as he sounded. I also knew something he didn't. My ID card was transmitting everything to Fort Bragg. Somebody somewhere was already seeing this. 30 feet away, Dr. Lila Morgan had dropped her medical bag and raised her phone. She'd stitched up Cole's victims in the ER before broken ribs, bruised faces, but never with this many witnesses. "Are you getting this?" she whispered to the teenager beside her. "Yeah," he muttered. "This is insane." Lila read my rank aloud into her live stream. Major Marcus Devereaux, Bronze Star, 3 tours, being arrested for driving while black. Cole tightened the cuffs, leaning in close enough for me to smell his coffee breath. "Federal laws don't mean a damn thing here," he muttered. "And neither do you." I stayed calm, but said, "Officer, you're being recorded by more cameras than you realize." He laughed, but the laugh had a crack in it. At Fort Bragg, alarms went off. My captain picked up his secure phone. General Avery Blake saw the footage on a Pentagon screen, and somewhere between them they decided, no, this isn't going to slide. By the time Cole shoved me into the back of his patrol car, the crowd had doubled. Lila called out, "What are the charges?" "This man's done nothing wrong." Cole's hand drifted toward his baton. "Step back or you'll be joining him." The crowd murmured louder. Phones rose higher. My training told me something was about to break, only this time it wouldn't be me. Back at the station, Cole strutted like a man who still thought the badge would protect him. But his partner, Officer James Redd, caught my eye through the bars. "Quiet guy." "Sir," he whispered, "not all of us agree with this." I looked at him steady. Fear's natural. Courage is what you do anyway. What I didn't see but later learned, phones ringing off the hook, the FBI field office lighting up, General Blake on the secure line with the police chief giving him 1 hour to let me go or face federal arrest warrants. The town's power structure had no playbook for a decorated black officer with a Pentagon lifeline. They let me out just before sundown, but it didn't end there. Lila had organized a rally at the community center, victims lined up telling their own Conway stories, only his name was Cole here. An old man said he'd been yanked out of his car for driving too carefully. A mom said her son got slammed into the pavement for walking home from basketball practice. Story after story painted a picture you couldn't unsee. Meanwhile, the FBI and the Pentagon were peeling the department like an onion, stats, body cams, text messages. They found group chats where officers joked about hunting black drivers, phone videos of Cole bragging about teaching lessons. It stopped being just misconduct and started looking like conspiracy. One dawn, federal SUVs rolled up to the station. Agent Emily Carter walked in with a warrant like a hammer. "This building is now under federal investigation," she announced. Hard drives, seized lockers, opened whispers in the hall. Cole went home on suspension, thinking it was temporary. It wasn't. I was on CNN by then telling Anderson Cooper, "This isn't just about me. This is about a system that let one man terrorize a whole community." The clip went viral. Military families from Alaska to Florida sent messages. Even people who'd never worn a uniform said, "I've been there. I know what that feels like." Cole's arrest came at dawn, federal marshals at his door, his kids watching as the cuffs clicked on him for the first time. The same charge he'd thrown at me, deprivation of rights under color of law. Watching it live, I didn't cheer. I just breathed out. Justice isn't sweet, it's heavy. In court, his own partner testified. Text messages, videos, stats, and avalanche. The jury took less than a day. 25 years, no parole, restitution to the victims. The man who once swaggered through town now rode a prison bus to the same federal system he thought would never touch him. And yet, here's the thing. This story's not just about a bad cop. It's about every quiet nod, every shrug, that's just how it is that let him keep going. It's about a whole department, a mayor, a DA, and a community that didn't want to see until the live stream made it impossible to look away. 6 months later, the new interim chief, Rachel Kim, was installing body cams and rewriting policies. The Pentagon rolled out new rules that any arrest of a service member triggers federal review. And my phone kept buzzing with messages from soldiers saying, "Because of your case, my town's cops think twice now." I wish I could tell you it fixed everything overnight. It didn't, but it cracked the wall. And once a wall's cracked, light gets in. So that's my story. I pulled over one hot afternoon thinking I knew the drill and found myself at the center of a national reckoning. I didn't ask for it, but I wasn't going to duck it either. And now I want to hear from you. Have you ever seen someone misuse their badge, their title, their position to crush somebody else? What would you have done in my place? Was the system right to come down this hard? Or do you think it went too far? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell your story. Because the only way this changes is if we keep shining light where darkness likes to hide.